Seeking peace. The Ukraine summit. The world watched with bated breath as representatives from numerous nations convened for the recent Peace in Ukraine summit. The summit, hosted in insert location of summit, aimed to address the ongoing conflict that has ravaged the Eastern European nation. With tensions high and the stakes even higher, the summit represented a crucial opportunity to pave a path towards a peaceful resolution. The summit brought together diplomats, world leaders and representatives from both Ukraine and Russia, creating a platform for dialogue and negotiation. The summit's agenda centered around key issues that have fueled the conflict, including territorial integrity, security concerns, and the humanitarian crisis. While the summit aimed to foster cooperation and understanding, it also highlighted the significant challenges in achieving a lasting peace in Ukraine. The presence of international observers and mediators underscored the global significance of the conflict and the importance of finding a peaceful resolution. The summit, however, was not without its share of controversy. One of the most significant developments was the refusal of 13 countries to endorse Ukraine's territorial integrity, a move that sent shockwaves through the international community. This rejection has raised concerns about the viability of a peace agreement and the potential for future escalation. The summit, while providing a platform for dialogue, also exposed the deep divisions that continue to plague the region. A framework for peace, defining the summit's goals. At the forefront of the summit's agenda was the establishment of a framework for peace in Ukraine. This framework, as envisioned by the organizers, aimed to address the root causes of the conflict and provide a roadmap towards a sustainable resolution. Key components of this framework included a ceasefire agreement, the withdrawal of foreign troops, and the establishment of international monitoring mechanisms. Furthermore, the summit sought to address the humanitarian crisis that has unfolded as a result of the conflict. Discussions centered around providing humanitarian aid, ensuring the protection of civilians, and addressing the needs of internally displaced persons. The summit also aimed to establish mechanisms for post-conflict reconstruction and reconciliation, recognizing that a lasting peace requires more than just the cessation of hostilities. The summit's emphasis on a comprehensive approach to peace building underscored the interconnected nature of the challenges facing Ukraine. By addressing not only the immediate security concerns but also the long-term needs of the Ukrainian people, the summit aimed to create the conditions necessary for a sustainable and just peace. However, the complexities of the conflict, coupled with the divergent interests of the involved parties, presented formidable obstacles to realizing these ambitious goals. A contentious point: territorial integrity and the 13 dissenting nations. The issue of Ukraine's territorial integrity emerged as a major point of contention during the summit. 13 countries, citing various concerns, refrained from endorsing Ukraine's territorial integrity, a decision that has significant implications for the peace process. These dissenting nations, including list a few of the dissenting nations, expressed reservations stemming from historical complexities, geopolitical considerations, and concerns about potential repercussions. Some of these nations pointed to the long-standing historical ties and territorial claims that have fueled the conflict, arguing that a simplistic endorsement of Ukraine's current borders would not address the underlying issues. Others expressed concerns about the potential for escalation and the need to balance Ukraine's territorial integrity with the security interests of all parties involved. The dissenting nations also highlighted the importance of dialogue and negotiation in resolving territorial disputes, urging all sides to engage in good faith efforts to find a mutually acceptable solution. The refusal of these 13 nations to endorse Ukraine's territorial integrity underscores the deep divisions that persist within the international community regarding the conflict. This lack of consensus on such a fundamental issue poses a significant challenge to the peace process and raises questions about the viability of a negotiated settlement. The dissenting nations' stance has also drawn criticism from Ukraine and its allies, who view it as undermining Ukraine's sovereignty and emboldening those who seek to redraw borders through force. Section 4. Obstacles to peace. The implications of rejecting Ukraine's territorial claims. The rejection of Ukraine's territorial claims by 13 nations has cast a long shadow over the peace process, raising concerns about the potential for future conflict and instability. This lack of consensus on such a fundamental issue undermines the foundation for a lasting peace and creates uncertainty about the future of the region. The dissenting nations' stance could embolden those who seek to challenge the existing territorial order, potentially leading to further escalation and violence. Moreover, the rejection of Ukraine's territorial integrity could have a chilling effect on diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict. If nations believe that their territorial integrity is not guaranteed, they may be less likely to engage in good faith negotiations or make concessions, fearing that any compromise will be seen as a sign of weakness. This could lead to a stalemate in negotiations, prolonging the conflict and exacerbating the suffering of the Ukrainian people. The implications of this rejection extend beyond Ukraine, potentially setting a dangerous precedent for other territorial disputes around the world. If nations believe that they can redraw borders by force, or that their territorial claims will not be recognized by the international community, it could undermine the rules-based international order and increase the risk of conflict. The situation in Ukraine serves as a stark reminder of the importance of upholding international law and the territorial integrity of all nations. Section 5. A legacy of contention. A historical look at Ukraine's territorial disputes. To fully grasp the complexities of the current conflict, it is essential to delve into the historical backdrop of Ukraine's territorial disputes. For centuries, Ukraine has been a crossroads of empires, its fertile lands and strategic location making it a coveted prize for neighboring powers. From the Mongol invasions of the 13th century to the partitions of Poland in the 18th century, Ukraine has experienced repeated periods of foreign domination and territorial division. The 20th century brought no respite for Ukraine as it became a battleground between Russia and Germany during both world wars. The Soviet era witnessed the Holodomor, a man-made famine engineered by Stalin's regime that decimated Ukraine's population, and the annexation of Crimea in 1954, a move that would later fuel further territorial disputes. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 brought about Ukraine's independence, but also reignited historical tensions and territorial claims. Understanding this long and tumultuous history is crucial for comprehending the current conflict and the challenges in achieving a lasting peace. The historical grievances, territorial claims, and competing narratives that have shaped Ukraine's past continue to influence the present, making it all the more important to address these underlying issues in any peace settlement.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.